It's time for Around the Ozarks Sports Scene, brought to you by Colton's Steakhouse, Thompson Sales, and Deadeye Gun and Pawn in Sparta. Here's your host, Scott Puryear.
Welcome into another edition of Around the Ozarks Sports Scene. I am Scott Puryear. As always, a big thank you to you, our listeners, for tuning in as we talk sports in the Ozarks. And today we're going to talk some Missouri State baseball with one of their early season standouts. He's a junior third baseman, pitcher Curry Sutherland, the Logan-Rogersville product, off to a great start for the Bears. Curry, thanks for joining me this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You betcha, yeah. And Bears, as we speak, just coming off a tough loss at Oklahoma State in a non-con game on Tuesday, and then coming off the weekend sweep over Arkansas Little Rock. Bears now, in your eyes, off to a good start at 7-5.
Yeah, I think we're doing well. We're playing some good baseball early. There's a few games we'd for sure like to have back, but it's early season baseball. A lot of season left.
Well, and you in particular are off to a great start at the plate, to hitting 362, which is a team high, 17 hits in 12 games, including a team leading 4 homers and 14 RBIs. We've talked on the radio quite a bit with Coach Hawkins about this is a team that traditionally is a little slower out of the gates at the plate because of cold weather and getting a later start in some of the Southern schools. You just jumped in and started hitting. What feels different for you this year?
Yeah, I think you can contribute it easily to, just the work that, the coaches have helped me with and the work that we've put in during the offseason. Developed a nice plan starting in the fall and, developed what I really wanted to get into with my swing. And nothing's changed. I've just stuck with it the entire year. It's really helped me, just stay that course throughout the spring so far.
A lot more confident this year than your start the last 2 years?
Yeah, a lot more confident. My last 2 years definitely were a little bit more of a slower start. So I think, I've been in a situation where I've had a slow start. Now I've had a pretty solid start. So nothing's going to change for me. Just going to keep doing what's put me in this position. Hopefully it keeps going that way.
And, of course, still trying to do the double duty thing. Third baseman, pitcher, don't know when you're going to pitch. You got the start against Oklahoma State, some relief work elsewhere. How tough has that been, being prepared both ways? And is it easier now in your third year?
It's definitely easier now in my third year. I'm never going to say that it's easy because it's not. It's one of those things that there's so much time that has to be put in. I go through a 3-hour baseball practice, and then after the practice is over, I'm trying to get my pitching stuff in. So, it's never the easiest thing, but I don't take it for granted. It's something I really enjoy doing.
Was it different getting the start at Oklahoma State, or is that different as opposed to coming in relief? I mean, how far in advance did you know you were going to get that first inning?
They told me the night before that I was going to get the first inning. I don't know. It's different than relief pitching. I'm not a person that needs a long starter routine or a long relief routine. So I try to not treat it any different. I get ready about 20 minutes before the game gets going, get ready to get going. So I kind of like to treat the start like it's going to be a relief outing. So not get too long of a beginning going.
Did you know going in it was going to be one inning, or what was the plan?
I knew that I hadn't thrown in a week or so I knew that I wasn't going to have a ton of pitches, and then I had a long first inning. So I didn't know exactly how many innings it was going to be, but I knew it was going to be more of a shorter outing.
Now, you had Tommy John back in high school?
I did, yeah. I had Tommy John my junior year of high school.
Junior year, yeah. And what are you touching now with your fastball? What kind of range? What can you get up to?
Most of the time I'll be around 90, 92. I've been up to some 3s and 4s, sometimes a 5, but it's typically around a 90, 92 area.
And so do you enjoy one side more or the other? I mean, the playing the field at third base, pitching, or is it kind of just, hey, whatever you need me to do at this moment?
Yeah, so I tell people that there's no better feeling on the baseball field than when you really get one in the batter's box. So I like hitting more. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy pitching, but it's impossible to beat that feeling of just hammering a ball in the batter's box.
Well, 2 hits down in Oklahoma State to push that average up even higher. And the usual for Curry Sutherland now, 2 hit by pitches. You may be leading American hit by pitches over your career so far. I looked it up. hit by pitch 5 times as a freshman, a team high 11 times last year, and already 4 times through 12 games this year. What's going on here with the HBPs?
Yeah, it's funny, but we just really preach here at Missouri State like anchor. It's an easy way to get on base, easy way to get innings going, rallies going. So it's one of those things that if I got to wear one for the team, that's what I'll do. It's the best thing for us.
Well, and I think, was it the second one hit the hand area? That's a little touchy, isn't it, in that area?
That one's no fun. We're all good, but that one didn't feel too good for sure.
What's the worst place to get hit by a pitch? I can name one probably in my mind, but you're never going to get hit there. But what are the other body parts that it's like I don't really want to get hit there?
So I now wear an elbow guard because I've been hit in the front elbow, and that is by far the worst place ever to get hit. So
is that the funny bone that they talk about?
Yeah, that one's no fun. That one's no fun at all.
What about legs? Legs okay?
Legs are no good. I've been hitting the knee a few times. The knee's not fun either, but the elbow is by far the worst.
Well, and like you said, it hurts that on base percentage too. So the thing that helps that is a good thing for the Bears. Yeah. When Joey was on with us on radio last week, we were talking about your fast start, and I know there were signs coming in the summer. Talk about your summer of development last summer, and then what you carried into the fall to just continue to build that confidence. Where did you play last summer?
I played in the Coastal Plains League for the Peninsula Pilots. And so up there, I honestly got off to a really bad start up there. I think through my first 12 at-bats, I had no hits. I'd struck out like 5 or 6 times. And so I fell in love with videoing my swing from the side angle during every BP round I took. And that's when I noticed that my hands were rising in my swing. I wasn't staying on my backside very well. So I continued to film my swing, really locked in on where my hands were going. I came up with a few drills that, helped me stay on my backside well. And I still do those same drills before every game, before every day I pitch. I still film myself as much as I can. So it's one of those things that repetition just really helps, really keeps it going, and just going to continue doing it.
Is it something now you wish you'd have maybe broke out your first 2 years, the film study like that?
I think that it's one of those things that you can't – I wish I would have done it, but it's one of those things that I'm glad I found it when I did because it's really helped me.
What's life like in the summer ball league? Because I know you're away from home, away from family. Have you done 3 summers of that, or now, I believe?
I've done 2.5. I went up for a year after my freshman year. Before my sophomore year, I played for 2 weeks and then came back home. So really just 2.
Is that a good prep for what minor league baseball life would be like, you feel like?
It's got to be close. It's a grind. You're playing every single day, maybe one day off every 2 weeks, on a bus for 6 hours every day sometimes. It's a grind, man. Look, this summer I was blessed to have a amazing host family. They are awesome. It made the summer so easy. So
you stay in touch with those people, all your host families?
I do stay in touch with them. My one from my freshman year, before my freshman year, actually texted me the other day. So I stay in touch with them a little bit for the most part. It's fun. It's a good experience.
Of course, the cool part about that is with streaming and everything else now, they can actually watch you and see you play, and 20 years ago that wouldn't have been possible. So that's got to be a fun part about it too.
It's fun.
Coach Hawkins also we were talking about your numbers and the power and everything else, but he was as much or more impressed with the new leadership level you're showing and being a great teammate, as he put it. What has changed in you now being a junior? Is that something that just develops over time as you get older and more confident around even younger guys than you?
I think for sure. Yeah. I mean, your first couple years of college, my first year, I was still trying to get my feet wet. It's a huge difference from high school baseball. It's a lot. I think just now that I've been around it this is my 3rd year, I'm just more comfortable out there on the field. I'm close. This is probably the closest team that I've been on. Where the chemistry is unbelievable. So it's just one of those things that I know my teammates really well. They know me, and we're able to kind of, push each other in ways that, I haven't seen in the past.
For those high school kids out there that, you played a very high level of summer baseball. over the years, in addition to, Rogersville High School. What is the biggest adjustment? I mean, something maybe you didn't even account for because you had seen guys that threw that hard during the summers and things like that. But what was the biggest transition for you from high school senior to college freshman and at Division I baseball?
Yeah, I think just the thing you don't realize is that every single player that goes to play Division I baseball was the best player on the team that they were on, right? So it's kind of one of those things that you're just surrounded by a bunch of people that have the confidence that you have in yourself. And, the pitchers are unbelievable. The hitters are unbelievable. It's just kind of one of those things that, everybody around you pushes you to another level and you just got to rise to the occasion.
About the leadership and feeling comfortable being a team leader now and being a good teammate. Were there older guys your first year or two that you really looked up to and kind of watched how they did it to help you maybe be prepared for what you're doing now?
Yeah, 100%. So at my freshman year, my road roommate was actually Reed Metz, who graduated from Rogersville and was a senior there when I was a freshman. So my freshman year, he was a guy that I leaned on a lot. We talked a lot. He helped me out a lot. My freshman year was fantastic. And then last year, I was really close with a bunch of the infielders. My fellow third baseman, Dylan Robertson, we talked a lot. Nick Rodriguez and Tyler Epstein. Those are guys that, I was able to just watch how they worked, how they went about their days, and really just tried to implement it into myself. Like, those guys did unbelievable jobs while there at Missouri State.
You came in at a unique time. You got to play 1 year for Coach Keith Gutton, the farewell tour, so to speak, a guy who signed you, a guy you committed to as a sophomore in high school at Rogersville. And then the last 2 years for Joey Hawkins, who was his associate head coach, your hitting coach. Talk about the difference between the two, and what was that freshman year like with Coach Gutton, and what did you take away from just one season playing with him?
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely tell early on that Coach Gutton, he'd been around it a while. He saw things that, other people didn't see. So that first year with Coach Gutton was a lot of fun. I'm super grateful for the time that I was able to play under him, being the farewell tour. That's really cool. But Coach Hawkins, he's been unbelievable for my development. He's probably, in my opinion, the best hitting coach in the country. Really has helped me out. He just sees things and swings that you maybe don't see yourself, and he really helps you with all the feels you need in the box.
And do you feel like those first 2 years, because of your reputation and everything else, that were you probably pressing a little bit too at the plate early on?
I think that, it's one of those things that I've really worked on with the mental side of baseball. The mental side of baseball is really difficult. So, we have a mental skills guy named Franco that, I've talked to a lot, and it's kind of just like the idea is to stay neutral, which is something that I really struggled with. You can't ride the highs too high or the lows too low. So I think definitely pressing was something that was happening. Just because when you're not doing the greatest, you really just want to get out of it, help the team. And it wasn't going well for me. And this year, just really trying to stay neutral. This past summer, really trying to stay neutral. It's something that's really helped me out quite a bit.
We talked about the difference when you go from high school to the college level. When you guys go out and I mean you'll play a Conference USA schedule this year for the first time, Missouri Valley the last 2 years. But you've got a Memphis coming in this week. You had Arkansas Little Rock last week. When you go out on like a midweek game, like to an Oklahoma State or an Ole Miss for a series like you guys did, do you notice anything different about those teams? And what about for you guys? Is that an extra boost getting you guys pumped up to play those teams?
So this team, our entire focus is going 1-0 every day. We're treating every opponent the same way. It doesn't matter who we're playing. We believe that we're going to win. We believe that we're going to go 1-0. So it's kind of one of those things that we're not really looking at who the opponent is, if that makes sense. Our entire goal the entire week, the entire day is we're not looking at weekends as a whole. We're looking at Friday as its own day, Saturday as its own day, Sunday as its own day, Tuesday as its own day, and so on. Just waking up every day, trying to go 1-0 that day and worry about the next day when it comes.
Well, I have a feeling if there's a bench clearing brawl, usually those teams are a little physically bigger. I think there'll be a bunch of guys get behind you at 6'5", 225 there. Curry, you got this. Go take care of that, and stuff.
Yeah.
That's one of the bizarre things is, your little brother Jack is a sophomore at Rogersville, a great baseball prospect in his own right. He's about 6 foot, maybe 6'1", probably a buck 50, maybe.
Yeah.
Where did 6'5", 225 come from in this family?
I honestly have no idea. I got one uncle that's about 6'3", two cousins that are 6'5", and then me. So I don't really know where it came from, but I'm grateful for it for sure.
You're happy, aren't you?
I'm happy with it.
If you were 6'5", 225 as a high school freshman, would you be a tight end at Ole Miss right now?
No chance. Football for me. I like baseball.
You like baseball? Did you ever play football?
I did 1 year in 7th grade. It wasn't for me.
Really?
I didn't enjoy the practices. They weren't for me. So
good basketball player though throughout, and especially at Rogersville, and kind of talk about your evolution into a baseball player pretty much full time. When did that start hitting you that, hey, I can be pretty good at this game? I know that, full confidentiality, you played with my son's team back with the Twisters when we started them back when they were 8 or 9 years old. And, I couldn't coach, but I was a pretty good recruiter. I found the guys to put together there, but that was kind of the initial stages, I would guess. But one of the advantages of that team was having Mark Stratton around as a grandpa for coaching. Sure. And how much did that help you think in your early development, having guys like Mark Stratton and Scott Geitz and guys that had been at that higher level to help you kind of get along that path?
Unbelievable. I just think that, playing on that team at such a young age, we did things the right way. And we, just tried to play good baseball, correct baseball at a young age. And I don't know how many teams are doing that from when we start at 7 and 8 years old. So I just think that, learning how to play baseball the right way at such a young age is something that really helped me growing up.
What was that age that it kind of clicked on for you that, hey, I can do this at a high level?
Yeah, so I think probably middle school age. That's really when I started falling in love with baseball. Just like, hey, like I really enjoy doing this. Like I'm doing pretty well. And then you got to start lifting weights. You got to figure out if you like lifting weights or not. So I think it was probably middle school age that I decided that, hey, like that's what I want to do. I want to try and play Division I baseball.
Committed to Coach Gutton and the Bears as a sophomore in high school. Why then? Why so early?
Growing up around Springfield, the Bears were a good team. I really enjoyed. I remember going to the ballpark and watching Coach Hawk play. I remember Tate Matheny. There were just so many good players. I grew up watching. It was great. So the second that Missouri State offered, I think it was about 2 days later that I committed. Like that was just a place I knew I wanted to go play baseball at.
And did some others come in during the last couple of years, or at least try to see if there was an interest?
Baseball is a funny thing. Once you commit, you don't really hear from anybody else. So, the recruiting process was a stressful time. I was really that's another reason the second Missouri State offered, I was like, yep, let's go there. That place feels right. I want to go there. So nobody really came in at the end. So it was good. It was always Missouri State.
I know your family. Well, first, before we get to that, was there any fear factor with Coach Gutton that freshman year actually playing for him at that time?
I've heard that Coach Gutton in his younger years was a lot more. He was a lot more fiery. I think I got him in the fun Coach Gutton years.
You got the kinder, gentler on his way out, Coach Gutton.
Yes, I did. I think so.
Well, and your family, the Sutherland family, a long history of Ole Miss graduates and
yes,
people that have gone to school there. Your mom is a Mississippi native growing up. You guys played down at Ole Miss here a couple weeks ago. In each ball game of the three, didn't pull out any wins. But what was that weekend like for you, being an Ole Miss fan and in your lifetime with other sports, going there and playing a baseball series? What'd that mean to you?
Yeah, that was really cool. Obviously, my grandparents went to Ole Miss. Basically my entire family went to Ole Miss, aunts and uncles on both sides. So that was fun for me. It would have been unbelievable to get out of there with a couple wins. We were in it down there, but didn't go our way. But, I got to have a bunch of family that still lives in Mississippi come to see me, a lot of family friends. So it was a fun weekend for sure.
That put any more pressure on you to hit one or two out?
I don't think so. It was more just trying to win baseball games.
Well, with this new venture into Conference USA, is that kind of fun, getting to see some new new opponents down the road in what appears to be a better league for you guys?
Oh, 100%. It's one of those things that we get to see a whole new face of opponents. So it's going to be exciting for sure.
What are the goals still for Curry Sutherland in terms of the future? I mean, is pro baseball something on your radar that you want to try to make happen?
Pro baseball is always the goal, but right now, just focused on what's in front of me. Helping Missouri State win baseball games. I'd like to go play in a regional. That's the goal always, regional and past that. So I think that right now my main focus is on how can I help Missouri State win games? How can I help my teammates win games? And we'll see what happens after that.
Professionally, are you a hitter or a pitcher or third baseman?
I would hope to be a hitter, but if anybody wants me to be a pitcher, I'm not gonna. Hey, it's up to them. I'm not
gonna
gonna
say no.
Opportunity, yeah.
Yeah. We talked about Jack, your sophomore brother. That team's having a phenomenal basketball run. Are you caught up in that? Are you a big fan of Coach Schaefer and the Wildcats?
Oh, I'm a huge fan. I try to text my brother after every game. I went to, before our season started, I was going to as many as I can. I can't go to as many anymore, obviously, but I try to check in on them as much as I can.
How good are they compared to the Curry Sutherland Rogersville basketball teams?
I don't even think it's close. That team they have is unbelievable.
Who would you rather guard, Chase Branham or Jack Sutherland?
I'll take Jack Sutherland.
You think you could bang him around a little bit, maybe, or
I'd throw around a little bit for sure.
Could you get in his head at all?
Way too easily.
Way too easily.
Yeah.
Talk about him as a prospect. I know just a sophomore, a different build. I think he's a left-handed hitter, isn't he? And very fast. Nobody's ever confused Curry Sutherland with fast, have they?
They have not. No.
What are Jack's strengths?
Yeah. So Jack, a video of him came out dunking a basketball at just about 6 feet tall the other day. That kid is a freak athlete. He's fast. He can really swing it from the left side. Good middle infielder. I think he's going to be a problem for some high schoolers for years to come. He's an unbelievable athlete.
Good shortstop prospect.
Good shortstop for sure.
Any chance you might try to sway him to stay home like you did?
I'm going to do my best. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, and wish you the best with that. I know you've made the athletic director's honor roll every semester you've been there. Academically, what are you going into, and what's the plan after baseball?
Yeah, so right now I'm doing communications major. I think that, I just really enjoy being around the game of baseball. I think right now that I'm going to try and go into some form of coaching, whether that would be college coaching, high school coaching, or professional coaching. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think I want to stay around the game as best as I can.
We're seeing some Curry bombs this year more frequently. What's been your longest home run of your career, and what was your first one collegiately? Do you remember it?
My first one collegiately was my first conference start at Bradley my freshman year. I'll never forget that one. That was a fun one. I had a bomb there. And then my farthest one, I honestly couldn't even tell you. I have no idea.
Do you remember your first one ever at any age, any level, and where it was?
Oh, my first one ever. I remember my first one in high school. My first one in high school was up in Kansas City against Belton. That was my first one in high school. I don't remember my first one ever.
How fast did you go around the bases?
I think I sprinted around the bases. I probably looked like a ding-dong running around. It was ridiculous.
Well, goals for you and the Bears this year?
Yeah, I think the goals are simple. We're trying to win a regular season conference title. We're going to try and win a tournament championship title, and then we're going to try and make a regional and pass that. And I think we have a good chance to do it for sure.
Big key, I would think, was keeping Caden Bogenpole around for another year. I know he probably got tempted by the transfer portal and NIL, and probably a lot of schools sniffing around there. How big key was that in your mind? And then has that been anything that's even interested you, or are you just a Bear and it doesn't matter?
I'm a Bear. I haven't really thought about it, so I enjoy being at Missouri State. And Caden Bogenpole himself, we're super close. I don't really think that's something that ever crossed his mind really either. I think that he knew where he wanted to be. He's a great teammate. He's a great leader as well, and obviously an amazing baseball player. So I think that, kudos to him, because I definitely think there was a lot of people that were pressuring him, but he knew where he wanted to be for sure.
Well, I got a kick out of watching the game. I can't remember which one it was, but the announcers were talking about putting Bogey on intentionally so they didn't have to pitch to him. And you're batting right behind him now. Do you take that personally as a challenge? Say, okay, let's go if they do that?
It's kind of one of those things that you can take it personally, but you also don't want to take it too personally, get your heart rate up. So I just look past it, do what I'm supposed to do. If they're going to put another guy on for me, hopefully do some damage and get him in.
There you go. Well, Curry, best of luck to you. We enjoy watching you play and always have, and wish nothing but the best for you and the Bears going forward.
Yes, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You betcha. Curry Sutherland, the junior third baseman pitcher for the Missouri State baseball Bears, great kid, great player. I've watched him grow up and really become just a star over there at Missouri State, and great to see him having the quick start that he is this year. Great family, and big thanks to Curry for his time as well. Also, big thank you to our sponsors. Thompson Sales is located at 1555 East Independence in South Springfield. They've been in business since 1919. Thompson Sales is your home for the greatest selection of Cadillac, Buick, and GMC cars and trucks, new and used, and a great service department at Thompson's to take care of your vehicles from start to finish until you're ready to trade it back in at Thompson's and go get treated like family once again and get a new vehicle. The Thompson boys have been dealing since 1919. I've bought most every car I've had from them since the early 1980s because they do treat you like family. So we certainly appreciate Thompson Sales and their sponsorship. And a big thanks just down the street to Colton Steakhouse of Springfield. They're located at 2020 East Independence. So you go buy a new vehicle, go to Colton's and celebrate with a great steak or the barbecue. I think the best burger in town is the Montana burger at Colton's. You got the hot rolls, the fresh peanuts. It's all good stuff at Colton Steakhouse. Go see the owner, Thomas Orr, and his staff and tell them hi and enjoy a great meal. And finally, Deadeye Gun in Sparta. You can check out their store at 7483 Main Street in Sparta, right there on the main drag. And can't miss it. Go in and see Jonathan and his team there at Deadeye Gun, or visit deadeyegunsupply.com to check out their selection of rifles, pistols, ammunition, all the things you're looking for your next shoot or hunting expedition. They've got it there at Deadeye Gun in Sparta. That's going to do it for this week's edition. Again, thanks to Curry Sutherland for his time. We will see you next week on Around the Ozarks Sports Scene.